Thank you, Deirdre. Morning, everyone. We'll be going through the Release 26 highlights. So during the last forum in November, we covered the Release 26 October 2025 highlights. And in this session, we'll be covering the Release 26 highlights for January and April 2026. So first off, we have on the procurement side, we have the enterprise automation, the procure to pay process model with receipts and voucher match. So the enterprise process model provides a graphical tool for visualizing business processes, viewing metrics for the process, and exploring analytics about how these processes are running. It enables you to monitor and measure the process that are essential to your operation. The update model includes all steps in the procurement process, which is the requisition to purchase order to approvals, and now includes the receipts and voucher match. You get real-time insights into order statuses at key points that can reveal bottlenecks and areas of improvement. Next up on the manufacturing side, we have an option to validate production number in the work order inventory issue. So the work order inventory issue program, which is the P3113, has an additional processing option that you can set to validate if the production number on-hand quantity has sufficient quantity for material issues. A warning message will display if the quantity is not sufficient, if the processing option is set to validate. On the sales order management side, we have the ability to retrieve location information from RMA defaults table. So an additional processing option has been added to the return material authorization revisions application, which is the P400511, where one can now specify if the sales order branch and location is populated from the RMA sales ledger or from the RMA defaults. So this provides additional flexibility from where the data is retrieved. And also on sales order management, we have the reverse ship confirmation flow for stock items, lot numbers, and partial shipments. So finally, we have this. So a new program, P4205R, which is the reverse ship confirmation, allows for the reversal of ship confirmation in sales orders. So this application reverts the ship confirmed sales order lines back to the pre-shipped state. So restoring inventory and restating commitments. So there's no need to run your sales order to completion and issue a credit note and re-enter the sales order if goods have been shipped incorrectly. Then on sales management, we enable the credit holds program, which is the R42550, to release held orders regardless of total exposure. So you can now release a portion of your held orders up to the cumulative amount that does not exceed the customer credit limit, even if the total exposure exceeds the credit limit. On capital asset management, you have the ability to schedule preventative maintenance based on user preferences. So now you have the flexibility to set up varying maintenance frequencies. You can limit maintenance schedules to specific season or months if required. So you can create a scheduled pattern. So for example, it occurs every 2 days, and you can specify a from and to month. And then you can attach this pattern to your PM schedule by indicating a user-defined frequency and entering your pattern identifier. On finance, we have the add a new credit card after cancellation or replacement. So within expense management, one can now add multiple credit cards per employee without disruption, reducing manual workarounds, resulting in greater efficiency and control. On the digital platform, there's quite a few enhancements here. So on the learning paths, you have the augmenting Enterprise One widgets and Udo string translation using OCI AI services. So it allows one to use data from JD Edwards to produce text-based insight using OCI Gen AI. So the output can be presented through widgets, either text or charts, in a composite page. So the benefits are that you can enhance Enterprise One widgets with OCI Generative AI to derive insights. You can also use the OCI Language AI to perform Udo string translations to a target language. So in the example on the screen, one can see the spend analysis per business unit. And next to it, you can have your Gen AI insights into the data displaying as a widget. You can, another enhancement, you can iterate over forms in a form request. So this option enables you to use a single form request to manage forms that appear multiple times or not at all. Use the repeating/optional form option so if the same form is presented for each record selected in a grid, for example, releasing multiple lines in a blanket order, or if a form may or may not appear depending on a specific item, for example, kit selection or confirmation forms during sales order entry. Then we have form extensions for Power Edit forms, data extensibility. So you can add fields from the business view to edit or view additional data. So it allows you to call orchestration, notification, and logic extension from events on Power Edit forms. It also enables you to modify the controls on Power Edit forms as you could with form extensions on other form types. Then you can have pass exception messages from failed steps in orchestration variables. So you can now pass error information from a failed orchestration step into an orchestrator variable and redirect the orchestrator to perform a function such as send a notification based on the variable. This can be applied to a REST API fail or an E1 application. Then we have Oracle Guided Learning for Orchestrator Studio. So Oracle Guided Learning is an enterprise cloud platform that supports the creation of personalized, guided, and contextual documentation and training. You can configure content from existing assets such as orchestrator documentation, or create new content that meets your organization's specific learning needs. So this feature integrates with OGL with Orchestrator Studio, enabling you to create content that helps your users quickly master the many features and capabilities of Orchestrator by providing step-by-step guidance to complete tasks in the flow of work. Then we have the Enterprise Process Modeler, where you can have user-defined models, metrics, and analytics. So this enables you to configure a process model as well as metrics and analytics related to that model for any business process. For example, you might configure a process model, metrics, analytics for the life cycle of a lease, for onboarding of new suppliers, or to track the stages of a work order. You can set up your own process definition to create your own process diagram with nodes, links, metrics, and KPIs. So how do you do this? You use the process definition application to create a custom process definition to define the nodes and links of the process model. You use the Enterprise Process Manager to ingest the process definition and draw a process model diagram. You can define data filters, which users can adjust to explore the data. You can define metrics for the nodes of the process and define analytics charts that are context sensitive and process level and at process level and at node level. On the digital platform as well, we've got the improved hover experience on Enterprise One pages. So this feature improves the hover experience on Enterprise One pages by providing a user preference setting to enable or disable hover information. You also can have a 2-second delay before the hover information appears. So this serves to reduce the noise as a user moves the mouse across the page. On the sustainability framework, in release 25, Oracle delivered Scope 1 stationary and mobile combustion and Scope 2 purchase energy. In release 26, now includes expanded functionality to efficiently capture and manage environmental data, including purchase goods and services, which is Scope 3, Category 1, waste generated in operations, which is Scope 3, Category 5, and water withdrawal. You can configure determinants, define an activity type and an activity source, and create a ledger entry to track sustainable related to water withdrawal. Under consideration is Scope 1 and Scope 2 data from assets, inventory, and other JD Edwards transactions. So I'm now going to hand over to our corner. We'll be going through technical, cloud, system administration, and security highlights. Up to you, our corner.
Thank you, Warwick. Good morning, everyone. Our first subtopic in the technical highlights is the cloud platform and what Oracle has enhanced on the one-click provisioning. So with the tech updates for April, Oracle has enhanced the one-click provisioning utility, and this utility is an automation framework that provides an intuitive and streamlined approach to rapidly deploy, secure, scalable, and cost-effective JD Edwards environments. As part of the Jan Release 26 update, the utility was enhanced to support Oracle 26 AI database, and this enables us to directly leverage the advanced capabilities, performance improvements, and modern database features offered by the 26 AI database within a one-click provision JD Edwards environment. In addition, the Jan update introduced support for Oracle Linux 9, and this allows us to take advantage of the latest Oracle Linux capabilities and enhancements. It is important to note that OneClick continues to align with the official JD Edwards certification matrix, meaning other certified operating systems, including Microsoft Windows environments, remain fully supported. Lastly, the Jan update for one-click provisioning introduced the centralized configuration support, and this enhancement removes the manual post-installation effort that was previously required to enable centralized configuration and simplifying deployment activities and improving overall operational efficiencies. Okay. On the system administration end, Oracle continues to drive the modernization and digitization of JDE by reducing reliance on the traditional fact client and deployment server clients, moving more administrative functionality onto the web tier. If you recall, with Tools Release 9.5, Oracle started transitioning components of the package and deployment tools functionality onto the web tier. And this introduced web-based capabilities for package build, processes, the definition management, the assembly, the build itself, as well as deployments. And this allowed administrators to perform all these activities directly through the web tier. While not all the package and deployment tools components were initially web-enabled, Oracle has continued to expand this functionality, and as of release 9.2.26.2, introduced in the April update, Oracle has now extended this feature with enabling the package build history application onto the web tier. With this enhancement, we can now review package build detail status, reset specific build steps, resubmit packages to complete steps that may have been previously entered in error, and all without requiring access to the traditional fact client or deployment server. This further streamlines JD Edwards administration and supports Oracle's continued direction toward a more centralized and web-driven management experience. As part of Oracle's continued effort to reduce the dependency on the traditional fact client, more object management workbench utilities are being moved onto the web tier. And if you recall, in the October, we introduced OW table operations onto the web, marking another step toward a more web-driven development and administration experience. Building on this direction, the April update introduced an enhancement that enables access that traditionally was used through the traditional fact client to access and export event rules through OMW. Now this functionality is accessible directly on the web interface. And this enhancement provides developers and admins with a familiar experience on the web, through the web tier, and the functionality is closely aligned to the traditional experience that we have been accustomed to on the traditional fact client. While with this addition, event rule editing capability is not yet fully enabled through the web interface. But this enhancement represents another significant step in Oracle's ongoing modernization of the JD Edwards development platform and continued transition toward a browser-based administration and development activities. Continued on the system administration. As part of the April update, Oracle introduced improvements to the self-service password reset feature, further enhancing the user experience and administrative flexibility. The updated functionality now allows organizations to configure custom email templates for password reset notification. This enables us to incorporate corporate branding, support contact information, policy references, and multilingual content into the password reset communication alerts. And this provides a more professional and user-friendly experience aligned to organizational standards. In addition, Oracle enhanced the password reset process by introducing a more seamless post-reset login experience. Users can now transition directly into their default JD Edwards environments after completing a password reset. This reduces manual navigation and improving overall accessibility and efficiency. Continued as part of the April update, Oracle also introduced configurable password history controls, where organizations now have the flexibility to define the number of previous passwords that users are restricted from reusing during the password resets. And as you understand, is that by default, JD Edwards saves the last 10 passwords, meaning the first password at the 11th change can be reused. So this is to align closer to security policies within organizations, as well as internal governance and compliance requirements. And lastly, this provides credential management, also continue to support strong security practices and improving user convenience within the JD Edwards environment. Yeah, on the security component, AI database connected on Oracle Linux. As you may be aware, the AI database is available on-prem, but only on Linux environments, Oracle Linux environments. This enables us to take advantage of enhanced security and performance features for customer-sensitive data, the support for the latest encryption standards, which strengthens compliance posture and modern infrastructure for customers. This further secures direct communication paths between JD Edwards, application components, the Oracle AI database, helping organizations with modern cybersecurity and regulatory requirements while reducing exposure to legacy encryption protocols. By leveraging TLS 1.3, we can now benefit from stronger cryptographic standards, improved connection efficiency, and reduced latency associated with secure database communications. This enhancement further supports modernization initiatives by enabling organizations to adapt current Oracle technology stacks while maintaining secure, high-performance transactional processing across critical enterprise workloads. Combined with Oracle Linux, the Oracle AI database, this solution provides a more resilient, scalable, and future-ready JD Edwards infrastructure platform. Okay, lastly, on the technical highlights, we have a subsection for platforms. And as everyone understands, that JD Edwards deployment depends on a complex matrix of interdependent platform components from Oracle and other third-party vendors. These vendors drive the product support lifecycle of these components, so Oracle needs to continually certify the latest versions of these products to provide organizations with a complete technology stack that is functional, well-performing, and supported by the vendors. And with this latest tools release, these are some of the features that have been certified. And as you know, the latest that we could run on WebLogic was 14.1.0. Now we can upgrade to 14.1.2.0 Windows Server 2025 is now also certified. Oracle Linux 9 is also certified, as well as the Java 17 runtime is also certified. That concludes the technical updates, and I'll be handing over to Warren Gailey, who will take us through the VAT update. Thank you.